All right. Hello. It is I, Lauren, and I'm the film student extraordinaire. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a film student making videos about my film projects, film in general, commentary, lifestyle, etc. I'm going live today because I'm going to be sharing some information about my recent film shoot, which was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I have been sleeping for most of the time since, and my room is insanely messy right now, which is why I'm on my bed, not on the desk. So if it's a little shaky, sorry about that. I have basically crashed since I finished the shoot. I've gone through a couple of the behind the scenes pictures, which I'll go over towards the end of the video. And I'm just like feeling really proud of myself. I may go in phases where I don't look that excited, but I'm just really tired. I'm so proud of everybody, the cast and the crew. I'm just like exhausted. So that's what's up. It's not that I'm not actually excited. Okay, so real quick, I guess, in case you don't even know, I shot my senior film, A Train Ride Away, this past weekend. If you don't know anything about A Train Ride Away, first of all, you should check out the Instagram at A Train Ride Away Film. And then you can learn about it because there's a link to the website and everything. But it is a short drama about a young woman who returns to her hometown after many years away and realizes that the past isn't really the past. And it's a mix of like nostalgia and the understanding that you have kind of an image of someone in your head, and then they kind of turn out to be different than that image. So it is kind of a painful story towards the end. There are mentions of abuse, and it kind of starts as a rom-com, so it's a bit of a twist, but I'm really proud of the story. I really like it. I wrote it, so I'm biased. And I think the actors did an incredible job, especially considering that one of our leads actually tested positive for COVID, so she couldn't come to the shoot. So we had to call on an understudy who stepped in pretty last minute. Like she only had a couple rehearsals, like one real rehearsal with her, and it was very short. And then, a little meeting, and then boom, it was the set. And she did an incredible job stepping up. I'm really so thankful to her and so grateful that she was able to come and like do all that work because I excuse me, I thought I was gonna hiccup or something, but nothing happened. I was stressing. Yeah, that shocked face, that's literally how I feel, okay? Like, I was not a good time. Um, I mean, I knew there was a chance someone was gonna test positive, and I will admit, several members of the crew tested positive, so they couldn't come. None, like, crazy essential positions, like, not like the DP, and it wasn't me, but there were people who were essential or would have been really helpful, some PAs, and they tested positive for COVID, so they obviously couldn't come. And a couple of the extras did as well. So we ended up having less extras than I had initially wanted, but we were creative with the shots, and I think we made it work out, everything like all being said. But it was stressful. I was really worried that like literally one of like someone was just going to be sick, or like we'll shoot the first day and then someone would get sick on the second day, and I didn't really know what was going to happen after that. So I'm really, really thankful that overall everyone was healthy on the shoot, and that there was snow in Philadelphia. Of course, there's like no snow ever, and then there's snow the weekend of my shoot, but it was fine. It didn't clog up the roads. We had no issues with that whatsoever. It was just really, really cold on the last day of shooting. So the first 2 days of shooting, Thursday and Friday, we had allotted from we had like permission to come into the diner that or the restaurant we, were working with from 2 PM to 12. So, that would be 10 hours, obviously, you can count. But we did wrap much earlier than well, not much earlier than that, but we wrapped probably closer to 11, like, got out of there and everything, so go us. Also, my voice suddenly just started to, like, die, I guess. I was, like, video chatting with someone earlier, and then I was calling my dad, and I guess I'm just getting cracky. So if my voice, like, totally gives out, I will just stop, but hopefully that won't happen. Anyways, so we had 2 days in the restaurant, which I'm gonna call the diner because in the film it is a diner. And we had to, like, put up some decorations and everything, and then, of course, we had to take down all the decorations because they were the restaurant that we were working with, the Paradise Restaurant, thank you, Paradise Restaurant, their hours are, like, 8 to 3 or 7 to 3 or something, so they're not even open, like, past 3. So they were all just closing a little early for us, but we had to get everything out of there, and then we had to re-get everything in there and re-put it back up, and that was not fun, I tell you, because we were like, "Okay, we're looking at our pictures. Is this what we had yesterday?" To try to make sure it's all, like, looking right and looking good, so I'm just like, "Please be right. Please look good." Continuity is important if you read, like, Walter Murch. Continuity is not the most important thing, story and emotion are, but continuity like, I'd still like it to be, like, have I know there's gonna be at least one continuity error, like, I just know it, like, it's just how it is, but I want them to be as minimal as possible, okay? And I think it's completely reasonable to ask that of myself and hope for that. So, that's that, and the first day, I mean, overall, it went really well. I was definitely really stressed. Everybody said I seemed, like, calm and cool and collected. I mean, I guess I did because we got everything done. I had my little notebook. I had my director's notebook. So what I did is I printed out the script. This I printed out like really tiny so I could glue it in this book. And I made 2 copies. So one's just like the script as is. And then I did each scene and I like wrote stuff down with my pencil and wrote stuff down. And I would kind of refer to that while we were shooting. And then I should have got my binder out. 1 second. You guys could admire my sloth. Then we also had this binder, and in the binder, there's the script. There's the strip board schedule, and then literally like for each scene, we had a shot list and the time allotted. So we had the shots, what was going to be in it, so we could go through it. Also, see my nose? This is from wearing a mask for like hours and hours on end, 3 days in a row. Yay! Yes. Then after that, we had like our location agreement in here. We had another locations. We had the labor permit because we had a minor on set who needed a labor permit. We had our certificate of insurance, general liability, and for the station and everything. So like we were prepared, okay? And then we had like the script supervisor on set who was taking notes for everything. So we had there were a lot of moving parts and it was crazy. Like I don't know how I did it. I honestly don't. It feels like a blur, like a hazy blur. We had snacks, water, like everyone seemed to be having like a pretty good time, honestly. I was a little worried that some of the extras were gonna get really bored because like I wasn't spending that much time with them, but then they had to kind of sit there in case I was gonna be like extras to your spots or something. And but everyone said they had a great time on the shoot. All the actors were paid. Crews not paid, but are paying for like parking and stuff like that. Like the production is paid for that. So just kind of waiting to finish paying out everybody because certain people are getting paid through different means. So we have to like move money around, but that's been fun. But looks like we are within budget, which is awesome. We may even have a little bit left over to put towards post-production fees, which would be awesome because then we have to raise less money for festivals and stuff because I want to try to raise at least $1,000 for film festival entries. / then you can also try to travel to the film festival. I'm not sure how realistic that is or not. I mean, I want at least $500, so between $500 and $1,000 is the goal for that. And then we also will need money for our composer to get some original music and potentially for a colorist, though our editor may also just do the color work himself. But enough of post-production things, which is literally already where my mind is going. Like it's been like 24 hours since the shoot and I am already thinking post-production stuff. Like this film has to be finished for April 19th, which is the BFA masterclass like showcase screening. So it needs to be ready for the 19th. And that's a few months away, obviously. It's basically 14 weeks. I already made like a tentative plot. I'm going to be meeting with my editor this week to kind of go over that and come up with a timeline. But I have to stop talking about that. Enough about post. I talking about the shoot. So let's go back to the shoot. So the first day was everyone was still also trying to get like the hang of everything and like setting it up. And some people were there and they hadn't really been on sets that much before, which is fine. Like that's why you want people who are just interested and like eager to get out there and learn stuff. So I was just like happy to have them. So I think I will go over some behind the scenes pictures from the first day, and then I'll talk about the second day and the third day in the same way so we can kind of spice things up. So let's see if I can share my screen properly. Okay. I think it's not actually on. Okay, here we go. Now, some of the pictures are like super grainy because the still photographer who was also one of the PAs was like sometimes messing around with the settings, maybe too much, but we did our best. So this picture shows, I think you can see my little arrow. I'm not sure if you can or not, but can we see that? Yes. Okay, that's the TA. That is our DP. He was amazing. I worked with him all the time. This is our boom up, and this is our grip and gaffer, who, as you can see right now. So this is one of the leads. So she's not wearing a mask because she was acting. This is our lovely editor, DITing in the background. Let's see. Oh, there's me, my AD, who was probably being like, we are behind. We are running behind, because all she did was basically be like, we are running behind. She was amazing. She literally was like saving my sanity. Love her. And this was like an assistant camera slash like general whoever person. I love this shot of me doing some kind of directing acting work. I don't know what exactly I was saying, but I was invested in whatever it was. Again, here I'm like talking to Annie about something, and we're also looking intently at something. It's just kind of a fun time. There's so many pictures of me where I look like this, or the pictures of me where I'm like this, and I'm just intense about it. But yeah, we had a really cool setup. Obviously, we had lights, and we had like our own bulb. So we were like unscrewing their bulbs. We put like a bulb in that you could like change the light through via your phone. So that's cool. Oh, there's my director's notebook. So I had this like cool little monitor that I got to look through. So that way I didn't have to be like right behind the camera, but I could still see the framing and everything, which is pretty dope, to be honest. Like, I felt very professional, very cool to be going through it like that. Here's me again talking. So when you work with like actors and you want to give them some notes in between takes, you don't want to say all the notes like right in front of the other actors, because you want to keep it kind of personal and private, and motivation shouldn't be known to other people. It's like, I wouldn't know your motivations in real life, so why would they know each other's motivations? So I always try to bring them somewhere more private so the other actors can't hear. And also in this shot, we can see the guy in the blue beanie is a script supervisor, so he was taking notes on like if we'd like to take, or if there was something that came up, anything like that. Here's like a more wide shot of the whole space, so you can see some extras lined up and the boom up. We got me lurking in the side, all that good stuff. Here's me and Nicole, who was really sweet and was an extra along with my mom this weekend. And then here's just like a diner shot. We actually like my production designer made these little, oh, this is the worst shot. Okay. Well, I guess I can't see it, but she made these cute little menus for us that we could use. She made like the back of menus, and my graphic designer was also involved. So we had like some cute stuff that we made just for us. So that's the first day of shooting. I think I got back, and I probably went to bed by like 12:30, because we had to load all the equipment out into the cars. Then we have to unload the equipment, because you can't keep them in a car overnight, because we're not insured through that. So like if the equipment gets stolen and from a car, then like the insurance that we get through the school is not going to cut it. So we had to reload it into the apartments just to be able to do the whole thing the next day, which is divine. So we, repack up everything, bring it back to the restaurant, set everything up. And we had to be really careful, because we had to push a couple shots from the first day due to the sunlight. Like, we did fake daylight outside with the lighting, and we'll do our best like in the edit to match stuff, obviously. And Chris, the editor, will do his best to do all that color work. But one shot we just like could not fake. So we had to push that to the next day. So we did that right away. But then, we were kind of running behind, but John and I allotted a certain amount of time. John was the DP, so he allotted a certain amount of time to setting up, and then I allotted time to doing the takes and working with the actors. But due to our rehearsals in advance, and they were just like really on their game, we were still able to like move faster. So even though we were running behind the original schedule, we still had plenty of time, like before we had to hit our 12 like AM mark, basically, when we had to be out, which was quite the relief, because I I'm just happy that worked out. I was a bit stressed if we were getting close to that time because when you say like, okay, we're done, we still have to clean everything up. So that was really great. Also on the second day, I guess things were more interesting because we had the minor on set. She actually turned like it was actually her birthday, so we had like a little celebration for her. But then she also had to cry. She's not the person who we needed the onions for. She could cry like by herself. But we're like watching her cry or like work on her crying, and it's her birthday. And it's just like such a weird, funny thing because there's like jokes about like crying on your birthday or crying on Christmas and stuff like that. And here she's like crying for work on her birthday. Woo! Yippee! Let's see. We also got like parking permits or like a no stopping parking sign on the second day went through the film office that we were coordinating with. And it was sort of funny because we put the signs up the night before, like the afternoon before, so they would have a certain amount of hours to kind of like be visible. And people like disregarded the signs, but we did kind of boot a couple people out when we saw them. We're like, excuse me. And then we could put our cars there. But like someone tore one of our signs off the pole. And it's like, dude, you can tear this sign off the pole. We have other signs, but like it doesn't mean it's void. Like you ripping the sign off, you're like, oh, I didn't know. Like, dude, there are other signs like right behind you. You didn't get all three of the signs. So that was just like annoying, but I'm still glad we got the parking there and we could park for more than 2 hours in a row without getting a ticket because that would have sucked. But it was just crazy that someone's like going to rip off a sign. Like, are you kidding me? And for example, let me show you a picture of this sign. Like you will see, it's not the craziest thing you've ever seen, but it gets the job done. All right, let's share this screen again. Do. Onions. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, we had to get onions for an actor so she could cry because no one had like contact solution or anything, so put her in front of her nose and eyes and she ended up not really crying with the onions. We had to then literally like she took water bottle and like put water in her eyes. I don't know how she did it. I was like squeamish. I didn't like it. But yeah, we tried to get onions. Pretty interesting stuff. What you got to do to make a movie, right? Who'd have thunk? Right. So here is the sign. See? No stopping. Vehicles will be towed. Thanks by the film office. And there's me killing it. There's my DP. I know he looks super shady in this picture, but he's just carrying a sandbag. Totally legal. Everything's fine. But yeah, that's that. So I was a little stressed about parking, but we made it work. No problems. I feel like, oh, I forgot. There was on the first day, the only like set story that I have that was like embarrassing about me was I'm looking at the monitor and I'm like, someone's elbow is in the picture. And I blamed the boom up because he was also wearing red. And he was like, it's not me. So I was like, who is it? Who is moving? Who is in my shot? You don't see the sign? It didn't come up? Huh, one sec. Did I mess that up? Well, anyway, who's moving? And it was me. I was in the frame. Okay. Oh. Do you see the sign now? By any chance? I think I forgot that there's like 2 buttons I need to press in this software, and I'm like still. This is only my like 3rd live stream with this, so I'm trying to get better. But yeah, it clearly says no stopping. I'm just gonna leave this until I get. Well, I'll just leave it up for now. But yeah, so there was literally said no stopping, and I admit that my producer wrote in tiny font, but you would think you would stop, maybe read it to be like, oh, what does this say? And then you would move. Like, excuse me. They like ripped one of our signs. It was sad. And then some other lady later was like, oh, what were you shooting? Because we had like a light on outside and someone would have to be guarding the lamp. She was like, oh, when we found it was a student film. It's like, oh, I thought maybe it'd be like a real thing or like a professional or something like that. And I'm like, excuse me, this is a real shoot. And it is, I thought, relatively professional, okay? It's not like we're using, I mean, and you can be professional with like any equipment, really. But it's like we had all this equipment, we had all these crew members, we were following like safety compliance with the city. We had insurance for the equipment, we had insurance for general liability. We got these parking permits. Like, excuse me, this is a real professional shoot. We got a work permit for the minor. Like we're paying people. Excuse me. I got upset, but it wasn't the end of the world, this comment, but I was miffed, okay? I was miffed. All right, so now to take a breather and calm down, let's look at some more pictures. I will make sure I'm actually sharing my screen now because I forgot to do that before. This is a picture of everybody. This one's grainy because I forgot to do some noise reduction on it, but this is like the cast and the crew. Yay, cast and crew. And there's me in the middle because I belong in the middle. And obviously, I'm also wearing red for Taylor Swift. Yay, Taylor Swift. Here's me again and my AD, and there's one of the extras. That's why she's not wearing a mask because we're like shooting. I got my notebook. Never not without the notebook. It's always there, haunting me forever. This was our minor on set, obviously. She was one to cry, so she looks sad. Good for her, looking sad. There's one shot where you can see her. Yeah, this is kind of fuzzy, but I think that's her teardrop. I don't know. I have to go through and like do some noise reduction on some of these, but it's not my first priority right now. This was one of our ACs, so he's in charge of the slate. Let's see. Here's some of our actors, glowing and radiant. So this is cool. So you can see like this is what my DP was seeing. So there's the monitor for him. So because you can't see obviously in this shot like what we're seeing, but through the camera you can see the framing. So you see there's some stuff in the frame that's above and below those red lines. So that stuff will be kind of cut out of like, kind of like the cinematic ratio, which I think is pretty cool. So you have to remember that like certain things may look like they're in the shot, but they're not actually in the shot. So it's something to just remember when shooting. Like be like, oh, this isn't actually going to be in frame. This was funny. So we had like a silk like over the lamp, and I was worried that was gonna be like a safety hazard, but apparently it was fine. But yeah, I was a little stressed that I was gonna like catch on fire or something, but it was completely a-okay, no problems whatsoever, no fires, no nothing, all was well. Any more pictures? I mean, there's lots of pictures, but any more like worth pointing out? Yeah, so we have a ton of behind the scenes pictures. There's me again looking kind of confused. I think actually I must be looking at the little monitor. But as I said, there's my notebook. I literally always had my notebook with me because I had to be checking all the information all the time and being able to give any updates that I could when possible. And then there's me, like I look like I'm asleep or something, but I'm not. I'm just like looking out for something, I guess. There was no sleeping on set for me. I was busy. Also, you can see these little tabs. Those little tabs are now gone. And those tabs are gone now because as we would go through scenes, I would take the tabs out so I could kind of visually see just real quick like how much there was left to do. And then that was the 2 days inside, which went like really well, obviously. And then the third day, Saturday, yesterday, it was all outside from 7:30. Well, my call time was 7:15 a.m. to we had kind of had it to 4 p.m. that we did end up wrapping closer to 2 because we were just like banging it out because it was freezing. Okay. It was like 20 degrees and then maybe it was like 28 degrees, but it was so cold. The sun was shining, but when you weren't in the sun, it was very, very cold. So when you were in the sun, it was like tolerable. Okay. You could make it work. It was so cold. I had heated gloves, which are my mom's heated gloves, and I realized I actually left them here. I forgot to give them back to her. So that'll be great. Be like, hey, mom, I have your gloves. Please take them back so your hands don't freeze. But it was so cold. Like we were jumping up and down, wearing coats, bundled up. But like the actors obviously couldn't be as bundled up. And then like my DP John, he had to have like thinner gloves so that he could work the camera and everything. So it was sort of miserable, honestly, like in a way, because everyone was so cold and people were freezing. But it was also kind of fun because like this is what you do, right? Like you're shooting and we're on set and it's cold and it sucks, but there's like this kind of camaraderie about it that was like fun in a way, So that was nice. But it's just like, oh my God, I'm so cold. And it did make everyone work suspiciously fast. Like I honestly don't think we could have finished as quickly, except that we were moving faster. Like I think it would have been worse. So it's good. It is. I can't even speak anymore. It was good that we were moving quickly. And the bathroom on set was at the place we got lunch, where we coordinated with them to be able to use the bathroom all day and kind of go in if we needed to for like a little warm up. And like our DIT, Chris, the editor, he was like in there starting in the afternoon, like all the rest of the day to like load drives and stuff. But it was a couple minutes away for a walk, so that was fun when people just go to the bathroom and then be like gone for like 10 minutes. But you got to do what you got to do, basically. The shots turned out really nice. Like, I'm so excited by what we got at the train station. And when the train came, I don't think I've ever been happy to see a train. But like, yes, the train! Because obviously the film's called A Train Ride Away. So we didn't get them like going on and off the train because that was just gonna be like too chaotic. So, but we did get like train footage and stuff to use because we like trains, right? So that was exciting. Although some people did miss the train and we saw them like 2 minutes later and we had to be like, yeah, you missed the train. So that was sad for them. And then we shot in the afternoon, also outside for like the final scenes, and it was like handheld. And I don't know how my DP did it, but like he was so intuitive on like moving the camera on who to see at what time, and it looked so good in the monitor. And I'm just so excited to see like what it turns out in the end. And it just feels like I don't know, like we worked so hard to prep for this, writing the script, going in development and everything, and then so much work like trying to raising money and scheduling and casting and location scouting, getting these permits, working with the film office, and to like actually have the shoot like be done and be wrapped and to like have literally done it all and now we're ready for the next step really feels surreal to me. Like I don't think it's really sunk in that like that's done because we worked upward for so long. So it's like mind boggling. It's bonkers. And I'm like, it's good. Like I'm happy about it, but it feels insane to me. Okay, so then for the last pictures, the last behind the scenes day. So we're obviously okay, I guess these are the wrong way. That's fine. We'll just start back here. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. But here's the like this is the afternoon shots when we're outside. They don't get that much. I mean, when in the sun, it was fine. But when you weren't in the sun, yikes. Like here's my DP, John, like killing the game with this huge camera on. I'm doing handheld, and we had our grip gaffer also spotting him, so he wouldn't, because he was going backwards, right? So that way he wouldn't like fall and die or something terrible. Yes, everyone's bundled up. He's got his little mittens on. Someone honked at us, which was like so mean, and I was really worried about his ears, but he said that they have like a wire in them, so certain sounds get clipped, so his ears were fine. These are some dramatic shots for the end of the film, so this is a real little spoiler here. Should be lucky. And this is obviously the train station. Here's the train. This is my mom looking super elegant and amazing in her extra outfit. Can I just say, shout out to my mom. You look stunning, a working professional right there. So that was cool. Let's see. Yeah, so we were just like all standing here and people were cold. It was a cold day. It was sad, but it was fun. And where's me? I know I'm somewhere. So she's supposed to look like sad, but she looked cold. But like it accomplished the same thing. It really did. And then yep. So there's my AD again. There's Annie. We brought a light that only came out of like a battery because we didn't have anything to plug into. There's me, a little temple hat. I was wearing so many layers. I was wearing two leggings, two pairs of leggings, my jeans, a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a big sweater, my big coat, two pairs of socks, like warm boots. Like I was doing my absolute best and I was still really cold. And then there's me doing something. And this one's funny because I'm trying to see over John's shoulder because he's so much taller than me. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was awesome. I'm so happy that it's done. And for any of you watching who've been like just supporting my journey through like whatever means, whether it's like being my friend or like anything financial or just whatever it is, like thank you so much. And I'm so excited to share stuff as it happens when there's like a teaser trailer or a real trailer. I'll just keep you guys posted on my film progress updates, and I will be back hopefully with the video Wednesday, definitely a video Friday, and then back in the regular schedule. I just gotta see how I recover basically from my time. And yeah, it's just been great, and I'm really proud of the team, I'm really proud of the crew and the cast, and I'm really proud of myself, and I think I have the right to be proud of myself. So, yeah, without further ado, that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again really soon. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, comment whatever you wanna comment, and I will see you next time.